Hi, I'm John Green. This is Crash Course U.S. History, and today we're going to talk about the United States Constitution.
The first time I ever saw a "This Machine Kills Fascists" reference was here, in a Crash Course video on John Green's laptop. Back then, I didn't know John Green, and I still don't today, but I had a sneaking suspicion that he wasn't actually advocating for violence against fascists. However, very quickly, the message behind this sticker became very clear. The laptop, and more specifically the internet, kills fascists. Not literally, of course, but figuratively through free education. By offering accessible classes and information on history and politics, the internet was this democratic platform which would bring the world together and, at least in the context of this sticker, it would make better informed and educated citizens, which would prevent us from falling into fascism. I don't know if John Green was ever this optimistic. I don't think I ever was. But this is the idea that this sticker embodied to me. But John Green's sticker is also an homage to Woody Guthrie, one of America's most influential folk singer who, very famously, painted "This Machine Kills Fascists" on his guitar in 1943. In this video, I don't want to look at the laptop as a machine that potentially kills fascists. This is an art history channel after all, so I want to look at Guthrie's guitar, and more art in general, and see its potential as a tool to fight fascism. Just for context, Woody Guthrie decided to paint "This Machine Kills Fascists" on his guitar in 1943 while his country, the United States, was overseas joining other countries in the fight against fascism in Europe. He didn't invent the slogan. That came from workers who built machinery during the war effort, but he nonetheless reappropriated the slogan to apply it to the arts. It's not surprising that Guthrie would appropriate a slogan from the working class because he was himself not only anti-fascist, but also a communist. These ideas could be noticed in his lyrics. His "This Land Is Your Land" is his most famous and probably the most radical song in today's context. More overtly, his song "Tear the Fascists Down" sets its context firmly in World War II and targets Hitler and the Nazis. However, his song "All You Fascists" targets fascists within the United States, meaning Guthrie didn't only associate fascism to Germans, but also to Americans. Race hatred cannot stop us. This one thing we know, your poll tax and Jim Crow, and greed has got to go. You're bound to lose. You fascists bound to lose. Finally, another incredibly interesting and relevant song that Guthrie wrote, he didn't record it, but he wrote it, is called "Old Man Trump." He wrote it in 1954, and "Old Man Trump" is a song denouncing his landlord, Fred Trump, who happens to be the father of Donald Trump. As I said, he didn't record it, but he still wrote it. He wrote it because he was outraged by Fred Trump's racism when it came to his new project, which was an apartment building in Brooklyn called Beach Haven. And basically, Fred Trump, surprise, surprise, wanted to keep it white. Things don't change, do they? Fuck. I suppose that Old Man Trump knows just how much racial hate he stirred up in that blood pot of human hearts when he drawed that color line here at his Beach Haven family project. Now, to go back to the topic of this video, which is the slogan, "This Machine Kills Fascists," we are confronted to the question, can art be an effective tool to fight fascism? When discussing the potential political impact that art can have, it's really easy to believe that there isn't any. Some of the most poignantly political artworks in the past have had no bearing, no impact whatsoever on the outcome of whatever they were denouncing. Think of Guernica, for example, which is probably the best-known political artwork of the 20th century, made by the best-known artist of the 20th century, Pablo Picasso. It was made in 1937 during the Spanish Civil War to fight and denounce fascists. The fascists won the Civil War, and they'd later lead Europe into World War II. However, during the same year, in 1937, there was the infamous Entartete Kunst exhibition, an exhibition organized by the Nazis to expose and denounce artists they called degenerate. They outlawed degenerate artists, showing that, perhaps, they are somewhat of a threat to Nazis and their ideology. So one way to see how art kills fascists is by looking at the impact of individual artworks and if they can convince fascists to not be fascists, or at least to make fascism unappealing. I know some people who became anti-fascist because of some music they were listening to, like through either punk music or metal music. Maybe some people in the audience, let me know in the comments, became anti-fascist because of Guthrie's work, because you really liked his work. In that case, I guess his guitar actually did kill fascists, or potential fascists within us, I guess. However, I have a second interpretation for this machine kills fascists, and it relies on one of art's most important characteristics, at least to me: its ability to unify, rally, and connect people together. Fascism and other authoritarianisms thrive when people feel powerless, isolated, and alienated. They thrive for two reasons. Mainly, at least for fascists, fascism thrives when people feel powerless because people will look for answers in a charismatic and strong leader. The second reason is because when people feel less solidarity, when they're demobilized, when they're alienated from each other, from society, they're also a lot easier to repress and reign over. However, art, and especially music, has the ability to mobilize, or at least unify. People get together to play music, to listen to it, to identify with it, and to identify with others through it. In Tear the Fascists Down, Guthrie sings, "I walked up on a mountain in the middle of the sky, could see every farm and every town. I could see all the people in this whole wide world. That's the union that'll tear the fascists down, down, down. That's the union that'll tear the fascists down." That's what this machine kills fascists means to me. A guitar, a paintbrush, a pencil, a camera, these machines kill fascists not only in the results they produce, but in the moments they create by unifying people, by speaking a language that can both be heard and understood by all. Essentially, by bringing people together. That's how these machines kill fascists. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I don't really have any updates. I'm still working on the fascism video that I promised. But aside from that, I don't know. I'm late on this video for sure. I've been very, very busy with fascism, actually, in in my own context. I'm not gonna go more further into it because, yeah, things have been getting pretty pretty bad. That's why I'm not home right now. Can give you an idea of what's going on. So been very busy, basically. As always, I want to thank all my patrons who make this possible. I need to thank Roman Brandel, X Townsend, Jeff, who are the top tier patrons, but there's also all the patrons who are scrolling by me right now. Very appreciated. Their support is always incredible. That's it. That's all I have to say. All right. Goodbye. See you soon. Hopefully the next video is the fascist video, or the video on fascism, I mean, but if it's not, well, it'll be a surprise, like today was a surprise. All right. Goodbye.